As the journal's malevolent power bleeds into their minds, Kathy, the empath, becomes its vessel. Her body contorts, her voice fractures, and a black inky fluid becomes her screen. She doesn't just read the journal. She feels every death recorded in its pages. What is the terrible truth behind Project Ladder Rung? Who are the architects they keep mentioning? And what waits in the terrifying void when the Obsidian Door finally consumes them? The psychics stand on the precipice. Will this hidden journal be the key to their escape or the trigger for their damnation? The answers lie behind the threshold in a darkness that breathes. Listen now, but don't listen alone. The ink moved, not spread, moved, like a living thing squirming under glass. He cut his eyes at us. The ink squirmed, revealing a hidden text in blood. You were bred to open the door. Sarah punched John, screaming, You knew we were marked! But her fist sank into his chest like wet clay. His skin rippled, revealing glyphs beneath. He's been marked since birth. The air turned thick and sticky like syrup. John suddenly recoils from the journal, not because of its content, but because he heard my suspicion squirming in his mind. John knows more than he's saying. Amelia shouted as he grabbed the journal, clutching it like a lifeline. It's the only way out. Somewhere in the dark, something rustled. Not paper this time, something slower, something deliberate. My heart snagged against my ribs. Was it memory breathing through the dust or something waiting deeper inside? We spread out, half searching, half fleeing from the weight of our own terror. Each step felt wrong, as though the floor shifted minutely underfoot, buckling like skin stretched too thin. The stale air vibrated with tension, the sense of unseen eyes brushing over the nape of my neck. I kept moving. I had to. Motion was survival. In the flicker of the dying bulb, I caught glimpses, diagrams scrawled in languages that should not exist, anatomical sketches stitched together with frantic ink, maps of nowhere, calendars whose dates ended abruptly, as if history itself had simply stopped. I tried to blink the scene away, but the afterimage clung behind my eyelids, pulsing, like memory, like guilt, like something wanting me to remember it. The symbols we had seen before, the impossible glyphs, burned faintly from the margins of the pages, like embers refusing to die. Staring at the pages, the glyphs slightly morphed, squirmed, and rearranged themselves. The pages captivated me, until they bled. I ran my fingers along the spine of a heavy tome and flinched. It was warm to the touch. Behind me, Emil muttered something too soft to hear. Sarah gasped. John's hand flew back as if burned. The journal fell open, its pages breathing, not just Enochian. EKG lines? Seismograph spikes? A child's frantic scrawl in a crayon of a door with too many hinges. The whispers started, not from the book, from us. Emil's voice, unbidden, slithered from his lips. You've been here before, haven't you, John? The thudding wasn't a sound. It was a silent, eating sound. Each pulse erased the buzz of the bulb, the rasp of Sarah's breath, the word help I just whispered. Only our heartbeats remained. And then, a wet, grating slick as something unpeeled itself from the far wall. A heartbeat, not mechanical, not human, something older. The air itself seemed to pulse around us, thick with the scent of ozone and something sweetly organic, like rotting fruit in an empty chapel. My skin prickled with the certainty that we were being measured, assessed by whatever waited in that darkness. John's eyes darted, not to the dark void, but to me. He knew what I'd seen, what I'd remembered. The darkness ahead shuddered, not like a door opening, but like a sleeper stirring beneath thin sheets. Shapes suggested themselves at the edge of vision, angles that hurt to look at directly, curves that defied natural law. Sarah's paper slipped from numb fingers. Emil took a halting step forward, his face slack with troubled wonder. Only John resisted, his breath coming in sharp panic bursts, the fogged and suddenly frigid air which clung to my skin like breath, dank, dark, wrong, and sentient. The philosophy lectures from my university came back unbidden. Professor Carlyle droning about forbidden knowledge. Some doors aren't meant to be opened because what waits beyond doesn't enter our world. It rewrites it. Soundless invitation resonated in my bones, not words but pure intent, bypassing ears to speak directly to the reptilian brain. It carried the weight of centuries of something that had waited longer than human civilization. Come. Sarah moved first, drawn like iron to a magnet. Emil followed, his usual nervous energy replaced with eerie calm. Even John's resistance crumbled, his body moving while his eyes seemed protest. The walls sweated formaldehyde and scripture. Science had become scripture here. As I crossed the threshold, 3 truths burned themselves into my mind. The symbols carved in our bones weren't markings, they were addresses. Dr. Hart hadn't been experimenting on us, she'd been preparing us as offerings. That smell, the almond and vanilla, wasn't from the lab. It was from the scent of the door's breath. The darkness beyond wasn't empty. It watched with patient hunger of a predator, like had seen civilization rise and fall. And as the last of the light died behind us, I understood with chilling certainty. We were stepping into another room. We were being swallowed. As the darkness sealed behind us, one thought echoed louder than the whispering voices. The most dangerous thing's forbidden knowledge isn't learning it. It is being recognized by what waits on the other side. The door hadn't opened. It had noticed us, and that was enough. The darkness stirred, and then something whispered my name. And so, Group Omega stands on the brink, their trust shattered. But the question remains, is John a traitor, or is he the key? The answers lie in the next episode. In the meantime, the investigation continues. If this is your first time with us, the story begins episode 1, Lost in the Labyrinth. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens when they leave this room and enter the next. Share it with a friend. Never be afraid by yourself. And if anything else, you can always use them as a meat shield. Follow Andrea Allen Writer on Facebook and TikTok, Andrea A. Writer on Instagram for more clues. For exclusive content and more twisted tales, join the Paradox Files on Substack. Link in bio. Share with a friend. Why not be scared together?